Hey YouTube, today we'll talk about the Walther PPS M2. This gun's been out for a while. The PPS has been out for a long while. The Walther PPS is the original slim single stack polymer frame pistol. Predates the XDS, the Shield, Glock 43, all of them by years. I had the original one several years ago. I got rid of it, traded it, sold it, did something. I don't remember why. I don't remember ever having any malfunctions with it. I don't remember anything I really disliked about it. I just do a lot of buying and selling and trading. But the reason I picked this M2 up is because I got it for under $300, brand new. And if you live anywhere near a Rural King store, you know what I'm talking about. But if you don't, you can go to rkguns.com and they will email you gun of the week deals, and they'll ship them to any FFL, and some of their prices you won't believe. And even if you're never going to order one, at least you can use their emails to show the local gun store wherever you're at how bad they're ripping you off. But the main differences between the M2 and the original, they don't call the original the M1, and they still make the original. The paddle style mag release on the original European style has been changed to a regular old thumb mag release. They dropped the rail on the front. I don't care. I like the front serrations. They're new for the M2. The texturing is different on the M2, and I have it covered up with the Talon grips, but it's the texturing that's like on the PPQ and the other ones they're making now. So there's a few subtle differences. Overall, it's pretty much the same. Not sure about the mags. I'm not sure if they're interchangeable or not. But it comes with a 6-round flush mag. It comes with a 7-round extended mag. It comes in a decent plastic carrying case. I don't really care much about the box when I buy a gun, but it comes in a decent case anyway. It's better than a lot of them now are coming in a cardboard box, and they're way more than $300 out the door. So the main thing that attracted me to this one was the price. There's certain things you think about when you hear the gun manufacturer's name. If I hear High Point or Kel-Tec, I know immediately I think about a piece of junk. If you're ever talking to anybody about guns and they defend a High Point or a Kel-Tec, just walk away, because you're talking to a moron. Sometimes they'll come down to say, well, High Point's better than nothing. No, I'll take nothing. I'd rather have nothing. Because at least if I got nothing, I know I need to run, duck, or hide. If I got a High Point in my hand, I may actually be stupid enough to think I got a chance of defending myself. So just walk away from them kind of idiots. Then you move up, you hear like Taurus. I'm not going to say Taurus is in the league with Kel-Tec and High Point. Taurus makes some decent stuff. I'm not a big fan of Taurus, but they do make some decent stuff, and I've had a few of them in the past, and they're not all bad. They're not all good either, though. Then you hear Glock. You got people that love Glocks and hate Glocks. Ruger. I think of the Mark II when I think of Ruger, the original little 22 pistol, and the 10-22. Smith & Wesson, I think of revolvers. But when I hear Walther, I don't really think of anything. I really have no opinion that jumps into my head, good or bad, about Walther. I know they're German. A lot of people will think if it's made in Germany, it's automatically got to be good. Wrong answer to that. But this is made in Germany, and so far it is good. And this is not the new kid on the block. Like I said, this is the original slim single stack pistol. You can get it in 9 or 40. It's been around for over 10 years. So, you know, it's not the new kid on the block. Matter of fact, it's the one that started the trend for the single stack 9mm 40 caliber slim, easy to conceal handguns. The profile of it, here's the Glock 26. The Glock 26 and the PPS are close. The PPS, I know I ain't doing this justice. PPS may be a 1/2 inch taller in the grip, and it ain't any longer. It's the same length. The profile, side profile on the Glock 26 and the PPS is the same. The difference is the PPS is considerably thinner. It also holds 4 less rounds, so keep that in mind too. Love my Glock 26, but the PPS is considerably thinner from top to bottom. It's less than 1 inch at its widest point. I don't think the Glock 26 is less than 1 inch at any point, and it just feels thick. The PPS feels thinner than it actually is. Now the Ruger LC9S Pro, which you know beat the Glock in the Glock 43 that is, in my little shootout a year or 2 ago. The grip on the LCP and the Walther are almost identical. The LCP is probably a 1/2 inch shorter on the slide. Still like my LCP, still carry it. Haven't carried the Walther yet because I only have 150 rounds or so through it. I'm not going to carry it till I get at least 250. I know people that'll buy a new gun and start carrying it before they even shoot it. That's not real smart, but a lot of people aren't real smart. I'm not going to carry it until I get 250 rounds to it minimum. And I've ordered a white hat Kydex for my white hat holster to carry it in anyway, and it's not here yet. So even I bought this little, I don't know how to say that, Tagula or something, leather holster. It would be alright. I'd carry it in that, and I may carry it in that. But I'm not going to carry it at all until I get my rounds through it to make me trust it. But it shoots well. The trigger, I'm going to say the trigger is as good, maybe a little better than the Glock. I'll say it is better than the Glock from the factory. Now I've put a transfer bar, ghost trigger bar, and all that in almost all my Glocks. So, but stock to stock trigger, I think the Walther's better. It has a striker indicator to tell you if it's cocked or not. Loaded chamber with indicators, a little slide in the top, and that's all it needs to be. I don't like these manufacturers that put a big flag up here or something ignorant. Has no safety, of course. If it did, you wouldn't be seeing it in my hand. But it has no thumb safety. Let me clarify that. It has 3 safeties, but it has no thumb safety. So if you're one of the nut jobs that can't carry a gun without a safety, you don't want this or a Glock, because they have 3 safeties. So, you know, 3 safeties, no thumb safety. And I'm glad it don't, because if it did, I wouldn't have it. I don't care if it's $100. If it had a thumb safety, I wouldn't have bought it. But I'm going to keep this one, and I'm going to compare it to this LCP. The LCP won my last little shootout, if anybody cares, with between this and the Glock 43. I had the Beretta in there that didn't work out for me, and then I had the XDS in there. Now, the Walther's a little heavy. Matter of fact, the Walther with 7 rounds in it, 6+1 in the flush mag, almost weighs exactly the same as the Glock 26 with 10+1. So 4 more rounds in the Glock and no more weight. But it is quite a bit fatter, if that's a big deal for you. It ain't really for me in a inside the waistband situation. But back to the Walther. It's thin. It's thinner. It's thinner than the Glock by far, but about the same profile as I said. Now it's back to the people that shoot guns or carry guns without shooting them. When I got this one, the first 50 rounds I shot through it, I was shooting decent groups, but they were really off to the left. Ended up having to adjust this rear sight. It's drift adjustable, so that got them back on. back on point. It was off a little. You could tell it was noticeably off a little bit to the side. So that's another reason you shoot them, to make sure they function. And always clean them before you shoot them, because when this one come out of the box, it looked like it fell off the Exxon Valdez. There was enough oil in it to oil 12 guns. It comes apart just like a Glock. Have the trigger, pull the trigger, ease the slide back, got the 2 tabs, just like a Glock. No parts to lose, no parts to drop. The Ruger, that's the one downside of it, is that pin you got to take out. That don't really bother me. See, some people say you could lose that in the field. I don't know what kind of field these people are going in. If I go from here to Walmart, I don't expect to find myself in no doomsday situation where I'm going to be like Red Dawn, living in the woods for 3 months. It's just, people get out of hand with all that. I never see an instance where I'll ever have to take this thing apart in the field. Not even sure where the field is. I guess the field's anywhere but other than this table. But that's getting a little extreme. But anyway, there is no parts. And the tabs are beveled a little bit. And they're a lot easier to manipulate than the ones on the Glock. But neither one of them are a problem. Like I said, I don't know what else to say about it. The trigger's good. It's super thin. A little bit heavier than you'd expect for the size. So far, super reliable. But the main attraction that got me to this was the price. When you can buy a gun of this caliber, this quality, for less than 300 bucks, I mean, that's just a no-brainer. If you don't do anything else, if you don't get anything else out of this video, go to RK Guns and just sign up for their emails, and you'll be amazed at some of the deals they put out. It'll be 1 a week, maybe 2. Like I said, they'll ship them to any FFL. A lot of times free, but even if it ain't free, it's going to be cheap. So there it is, the Walther PPS M2. It's worth a look. I'm going to keep it around for at least another few months, and I may end up keeping it permanently. It ain't eating nothing. It was cheap. It may stay here. Who knows? Thanks for watching. That's all I got.